Hi everyone, I'm Jiawei, Marketing Lead from Gen C. We are a Gen AI learning community in Singapore whose mission is to upskill Singaporeans with cutting-edge Gen AI tools and techniques. I'm here today to share with you all how to build and deploy a simple Gen AI web app using Claude and Streamlit. So Claude is actually from Anthropic, and a basic knowledge of Python is required to understand today's session. The agenda for today is I'll be giving an intro to Anthropic Claude. Then I'll talk about how to set up your API key and local environment. Then I will dive into the Anthropic API details and how to create a Streamlit app. Last but not least, how to deploy your app to the free Streamlit Community Cloud. Claude is a family of large language models, LLM, built by Anthropic, and the first model was released in March 2023, named Claude. Since then, a few Claude models were released, such as Claude Instant, Claude 2, and Claude 2.1. Anthropic offers a range of models across the Claude 3 and Claude 3.5 families to allow you to choose the right balance of intelligence, speed, and cost. They allow multi-model input capabilities with text output, allowing you to upload images and text prompts. Claude LLMs have very low hallucination rates, resistant to jailbreak, and has a 200K context window. Claude LLMs perform strongly across benchmark evaluations for reasoning, math, coding, and fluency in English and non-English languages. And Claude also offers API and software development kit to enhance development. So for the Claude family, there are three models, namely Haiku, Sonnet, and Opus. So the use cases for Claude LLMs include text and code generation, vision, and tool use. Claude models can be used in coding, and they are constantly improving on coding, math, and reasoning. Claude can also increase your productivity where you can extract relevant information from business emails and documents, categorize and summarize survey responses, and wrangle reams of text with high speed and accuracy. Claude can also help in customer support where you can handle ticket triage, on-demand complex inquiries using rich context awareness and multi-step support workflows, all with a casual tone and conversational responses. As you can see from the table, Opus has strong performance on highly complex tasks such as math and coding, while Sonnet balances intelligence and speed for high throughput tasks. Haiku provides near instant responsiveness that can mimic human interactions. In the Claude 3.5 family, currently there is Sonnet and Haiku, while Haiku is not in the table because it was added recently in October 2024. Anthropic's latest model, Claude 3.5 Sonnet version 1 and 2, can be instructed to write, edit, and run code with strong troubleshooting capabilities. Claude 3.5 Haiku improves across every skill set with a similar speed to Claude 3 Haiku and even surpasses Claude 3 Opus on many intelligence benchmarks. For Claude 3.5 Sonnet, is the most intelligent Claude model combining top-tier performance with improved speed. And it has some example uses include advanced research analysis and complex problem solving. Let's learn how to use Anthropic API to build with Claude. There's also another method to enhance Claude models through Amazon Bedrock, which I will not be covering in this session because it's actually more complicated. And as this is only a 30-minute session, I will not be able to cover Amazon Bedrock. For the requirements to use Anthropic API to build with Claude, you need to create an Anthropic console account and create an API key, install Python 3.11, create project folder named Streamlit demo in your machine, and lastly, create a local virtual environment using the VNV command. We'll be building a simple Gen AI web app that generates 5 Singaporean local food names based on user-provided keywords. To set up your API key, you need to first access Anthropic console at the URL, and then you will log in either using Google account or your email. If you use email account to log in, you will receive a verification email where you will need to click on the link in the email to activate your account. Next, you will click on Get API Keys once you are at the Anthropic console, and then you will click on Create Key. Then you will select workspace name. By default, there's a workspace name default. If you don't have any existing workspace, then you will enter your API key name, then click Add to create API key. You will need to save the content or your key content on a notepad file because you will not be able to view the key again via Anthropic console due to security reason. If you view workspaces, you can see one API key added. Then you can create new workspace if needed. You can add new workspace for separate projects so that different projects have separate API keys. By doing so, you will prevent mass disruption if one single API key belonging to multiple projects get deactivated accidentally or there's a breach of API key. So there's no need to change your API key in multiple projects if each project has one API key. You can click on Add funds to increase credit balance so you can invoke the Anthropic APIs. You can also enable auto reload settings to avoid API disruptions when credits are fully spent. You can also enable monthly limits as well to avoid overspending by changing the limit in the monthly limit screen. To set up your local environment, you need to download Python version 3.11 at the URL in the screen. And this comes with pip, which is a package manager which allows you to install, update, and remove Python packages. Check if pip is installed by running the command pip-version. You create a virtual environment using python-m venvironment in Streamlit demo folder. And this command creates a directory which contains an isolated Python environment. When in the virtual environment, actions only affect the virtual environment and not the global Python installation on your system. Using virtual environment provides an isolation crucial for managing project-specific dependencies without risking conflicts with other projects or the system-wide Python setup, hence providing a consistent and controlled development and execution environment. To deactivate the virtual environment and use your global Python environment, you can run the deactivate command. So how to activate your virtual environment is you can enter the command shown on the screen for Windows and for Mac OS. Inside the Streamlit demo folder, you need to create the text file named requirements.txt, and it should follow the naming requirement. The file itself should contain 3 lines, with each line having one value as shown below, which is Anthropic python.env and Streamlit. Then you will run the command pip install -r requirements.txt to install the above 3 dependencies. So these dependencies, you can think of it as libraries which your code will require in order to execute. Next, you will create a .env file in your Streamlit demo folder containing the value of the API key. And it should contain the below naming convention, which is Anthropic _API _key, followed by the value. And the current directory structure should look like below, which there are 3 things, which is v environment folder, the .env file, and the requirements.txt file. Next, I'll be diving into the Anthropic API. You will need to create a file named home.py as shown, and in the file itself, you will be importing the following libraries. Next, you will use load_env method to extract the API key from the .env file. So what does load_env function do is actually you will load the environment variables from your .env file, and then the os.getEnv function will retrieve these variables so that you can use them in your script. Next, you will create a client object which serves as the client main entry point for interacting with the Claude API. To send a message to Claude and receive a response, we will use the messages.create method of the client object. So in a method, right, you will actually be passing in the model name, the max tokens. So What are tokens? So LLM tokens are the basic units of input and output for large language models. They are small chunks of text that can be words, character sets, or combinations of words and punctuation. You also need to pass in a system prompt, which in this demo we will be having this prompt named generate 5 Singaporean local food names based on user provided keywords. Then you will pass in messages value, which is actually can be a string or list of dictionaries representing the actual content of the message. So if you provide a string, it will be treated as a single text content block in the content. So if a list of dictionaries is provided, each dictionary should have a type key, example text, image, and the corresponding content value. For now, we will leave content as a single string, which is basically the input that the user will enter on the UI itself. Then lastly, you will return a value, which is the response.content.text. The messages parameter expects a list of messages dictionary, where each dictionary represents a single message in a conversation. So you will need to indicate a role, which is either user or assistant. Then content, I've already talked about it. Messages always alternate between user and assistant. So for example, you can say something like, hello Claude, how are you today? And then Claude will reply, hello, I'm doing well, thank you, how can I help you today? So on and so forth. In the response returned by the Claude model, there's a message object that contains several properties. The most important piece of info is the content property. This contains the actual content that the model generated for us, which can be a list of content blocks, of which has a type, example text or image. Moving on to the next segment, we'll be talking about how to create the Streamlit app itself. Streamlit is an open source Python library that makes it easy to create and share custom web apps for machine learning and data science. By using Streamlit, you can quickly build and deploy powerful data applications. Streamlit lets you transform Python scripts into interactive web apps in minutes instead of weeks. You can build dashboards, generate reports, or create chat apps. Earlier, we installed Streamlit as it was included in the requirements.txt file. You need to create 2 Python files containing the Streamlit code, which is streamlit_app.py and about_us.py. So let me talk about what are the 2 files. Streamlit_app.py is the main program where you define the page navigation, which we have here, which is a home page and the About Us page. Then on the UI itself, you have a left column, which will show the Home tab, followed by the About Us tab. About_us.py is the page where you will write the title, header, and a short description of the app. Next, we will add the below code to home.py, where I will briefly explain what it's about. So you will actually have a title, and then you will have an input text for the user to enter the keywords. Right. So the user will enter keywords to describe their Singaporean food. So you will also have a button for the user to click once they are done. Then we have a simple validation where if there's no keyword entered and they press the button, right, we will have a message telling them to enter the keyword. Then next, we'll call the function to get a response from Claude, where we will pass in the user entered keywords. Then we will receive a list of generated titles. So basically, the keywords is sent to Claude model and the response is returned to be displayed on the page. So we can, if we deploy the app locally, right, we can see the screenshot as what it is on your screen, where we have an input text. Then we have a button for the user to click to submit. And then once Claude returns the response, we'll see the list of the Singaporean food names based on the keywords that the user has entered. So running Streamlit app locally, you will need to enter the above command, which is Streamlit app. Streamlit run, and then your script name. Then each time you make changes to the code, Streamlit detects a change and displays the message source file change at the top right. You will need to choose always rerun to auto update your app every time the code is changed, so that it's easier and save time. There are two ways of writing to your Streamlit app, which is using st.write, or you can use magic commands. So you can pass any data to st.write, which can be text or data. So what are magic commands? Magic commands are simply any variable or text value in the program, which is auto written to the app implicitly using st.write at the back. So it's actually transparent to you if you use magic commands. So if you have any secrets, you need to store them in the secrets file using this TOML format. Example, secrets.toml. You need to store your secrets file in a folder named .streamlit in your project. And then you can access your secrets using st.secrets. For example, if you have a database username and database password, you can use this method to access, which is st.secrets db username and st.secrets where the key is db password. Then you can see the screenshot of a sample secrets file. So next, deploying on Streamlit Community Cloud. So actually Streamlit Community Cloud is free, and there are three methods of deploying on it, which is GitHub, right, where you can actually link your Streamlit to your GitHub. Then you can deploy the code directly from GitHub. And then next, you can also deploy your Streamlit Community Cloud app from a public app, which is from an existing template that's already created by someone else. And then you can also deploy from a private app in Snowflake. For example, if you are using Snowflake platform, you can simply deploy your app from the Snowflake itself. So you can also deploy Streamlit separately on Amazon, EC2, Azure, and Google App Engine. So if you want to know what is GitHub, GitHub is a developer platform that allows developers to create, manage, and share their code. It uses Git software, which provides distributed version control. So it sort of like allows you to so it's a code repository where you upload your code your local code to the cloud, and then it manages your code where you can stage, commit, and push your code. Next, you will create a .gitignore file where you need to do this to prevent accidentally pushing your local secrets file or your .env file to GitHub repository. If you accidentally push your .env file containing your API key or your secrets, GitHub will actually have a workflow where it will detect this action and it will immediately deactivate your API key, and then an email will be sent to your account informing you of this incident. So take note, the .gitignore file is actually very important. Streamlit Community Cloud Platform allows you to deploy, manage, and share your app, and you will need to sign up for Streamlit Community Cloud using either GitHub, Google, or using email, where they will email you a one-use codes. Then to see your deployed app, you go to share.streamlit.io, click workspaces, and then click connect GitHub account. This is for you if you want to integrate, if you want to deploy if you want to sign up using the GitHub account. Then you will click authorize Streamlit. If you are using Visual Studio Editor, you need to go to source control and then click initialize repository. Do not select publish to GitHub, as all your code, including .env file, will be pushed to GitHub. This is if you push your .env file to GitHub, then your API key will be deactivated, which I mentioned earlier. Then you will need to stage, commit, and push the necessary files if you have any other updates later on, except for Streamlit folder and .env file, which by default will not be pushed because of the gitignore file. So you can have a private GitHub repository that's accessible to the owner, where people can explicitly share access with and certain organization members. Private repositories are useful for protecting sensitive data and proprietary code and give the owner more control over who can view and modify the repository. So you go to share.streamlit.io to actually create an app, and then you select deploy a public app from GitHub if you want to deploy from GitHub. Then you need to select your repository name, select what branch, and then the main file path, and enter a suitable app URL. So for this demo session, I've already selected my repo, my branch, and my main file path, and then the app URL for people to access my app on the Streamlit Community Cloud. Then next you click Advanced Settings, select Python version 3.11. Under Secrets section, you will provide your Anthropic API key value. So this is only required if you are deploying on the Streamlit Community Cloud. Locally, you actually do the same thing, but it's inside your .env file. Then you will click Save. Then you will click Deploy, which is in the previous slide, shown in the previous slide. Then after your app is deployed, you will see it in your console itself. So let me give a short demo of the app which I have already deployed to Streamlit Community Cloud. So this is my Streamlit console. I've deployed the demo app named Streamlit_demo, and then you can see that it's deployed. Then I can actually change the app settings, such as changing the app URL. For now, I have set these settings to only specific people can view this app. Then there's also a secrets tab where you can change the secrets or update the secret, such as your Anthropic API key, for example. So this is my app that I have deployed, right? So basically, you can see on the screen, there's a UI where there's a home page and about us. So in the home page, users can see the title, and then you can enter keywords which will be sent to Claude, and then Claude will return a response containing the list of Singaporean food that matches the keyword. Then there's a about us which have a description of the project. So we can try entering some keywords, sweet sour. So we will actually pass the input to Claude, and then Claude will return us a response. As you can see, Singaporean food names are generated successfully based on the keyword sweet, sour. So we have 5 examples, which is sweet and sour pork, sweet and sour fish, asam, pedas, mee siam, and rojak. So let me go back to the presentation. So I have published the source code on my GitHub. So you can actually see the source code on my GitHub URL, which is shown on the screen. Then I've also shared the Anthropic documentation links, as well as the sample codes and guides. These are very useful if you want to actually get your hands dirty and dive into Anthropic code itself. I've also shared the Streamlit online reference. So this is actually the official documentation on Streamlit, which was extremely helpful for me when I started learning about Streamlit. So you can see on the online documentation some examples of the different widgets and different useful aspects of the Streamlit itself. Yeah. So this is the end of my presentation. Hope you all have learned something new about Claude and Streamlit. And thank you very much. I will be uploading this to Gen C YouTube. Thank you.